Well, hello everyone. This is Howard at Howard from Georgia, and today's guest is Adam Nolan, creator of the Passive Print System. Adam, it's great to have you here. I appreciate your time. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, Howard. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I know you've had a busy, especially the last few days, getting passive print out to the masses. How's that going?
It's going really, really well. This time around, we built up a Facebook group, and the community that we built around this is just phenomenal. There are so many amazing people in that group with so many amazing different ideas. It's been a whirlwind the past few days, but it's been a lot of fun.
And Adam, you mentioned the Facebook group. I haven't counted the numbers, but I have seen dozens and dozens of new people added to that Facebook group, so there's lots of activity there.
Yeah, I think we're just on our way to passing 500 people so far in 3 days. So we could probably expect it's going to be a very big, very active, very fun group to be in.
Well, congratulations on what looks to be a very successful launch. And if it's okay, I'll get right to the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead.
Super. Well, tell us a little bit about the product and why you decided to make it. I know this is not the original version, so if you could take us back to there and catch us up to today.
Sure, yeah, I'll take you back to the beginning, the almost living in a snowbank situation. So back in 2008, I was working in finance, and the stock market crashed, and financial planners weren't so popular then. And I had to find a way to kind of make my money back again because business was getting really, really hard and help my clients. And right around that time, business was really, really bad. So I got to the point where I was literally just a few weeks away from being homeless right before Christmas, and my only means of transportation at that time was a bus. And right around that time, the bus people decided to go on strike right before Christmas, so I was literally left probably about $30,000 in debt, no transportation, no money, almost about to be kicked out of my house a couple of weeks before Christmas. And I decided, this is awful. I don't want anyone to ever have to go through this. And I hit rock bottom. And I decided, never again. This would never ever happen to me any time in my life in the future. And something snapped, and I made a decision. I made a change, and I thought, I've got to figure out a solution to this. And I started studying marketing, and I started studying business, and I read voraciously. I just dove into everything I possibly could, and I got pretty good at it. And I started helping out local businesses, and my hours started increasing, and I started 40-hour, 60-hour, 80-hour work weeks, but things were going really, really well. I was helping companies. My business was growing. I was releasing books and courses. So I'd gone from being pretty much flat, completely broke, not having a dime, but having lots and lots of time to do stuff, to the complete opposite problem, working 80-hour work weeks, and not having any time to see my family, my friends, any of that stuff, and not even having time to spend the money I was making. So what had happened is I was coming down from two big book launches, and I was burning out, and I decided, I'm going to be financially responsible, and I'm going to go check my bank statements and see, what's going on with that? Where's my money going? And what I saw floored me. I almost fell off my chair because at that moment I realized that I was paying somewhere in the area of $500 every single month for tiny little recurring charges, and we're talking about things like like a Netflix subscription or a piece of software or a newsletter or any number of those little tiny payments that we make every single month but don't register right away, the $5 to $10 payments. And I remember like it was yesterday. I was sitting there looking at this and my jaw dropped because I was out there working 60, 80-hour work weeks, slaving away trying to get business, and here was this genius just sitting there collecting these little tiny payments from thousands of people all over the world, and I thought, holy crap, this is amazing. And I never looked back. I discovered this business, found out that it was the same as Netflix, the same as Next Issues, same as Google Play, same as some of the biggest companies in the world, and I started creating little tiny products, little tiny courses and newsletters and all that, and delivering them for small payments every single month. And what I discovered from that was that people just don't quit because the value that you're providing them is so immense for the little tiny $5 that they're paying every month that they don't associate the pain of spending that $5 with the pleasure they get from your product. And because of that, you get paid every single month, and it makes a really, really, really stable business and a stable income source.
Well, tell me, I'm familiar with your version 1. I went through that actually twice. And I know this version you're releasing this version 2. How is version 2 different from the original?
Version 2, okay, so if version 1 was the rough work, version 2 is the masterpiece, is the final polished edition that has all the kinks worked out. So everything that was in version 1 worked, and everything in version 1 still works. The only difference is that version 2, a lot of the headaches, the frustrations, the stuff that was causing the most roadblocks in version 1 have been removed. So as an example, a lot of people are having problems with writing sales copy. It's not a talent that is naturally given to a lot of people. It's a difficult thing to do. So we found a lot of people were getting stuck with that. So what I did is I put a fill in the blank template in the course. So all you got to do is go through and fill in the blanks. And it's the same with a lot of the stuff through the course like that. A lot of it's fill in the blank, just plug and play. The other big difference is the first course was taught all with video. So if you wanted to go back and reference something, if you wanted to relearn a certain aspect, it was difficult to find in the video. Now, I understand the benefit of video in teaching people how to do the technical setup, click here, click here, click here. But as far as learning material, books are a little bit easier. So this whole program is now taught in a 100-page, fully printable, there is color in it, not a lot of color because it's hard on printers, but it is fully printable PDF and a 1-hour video that goes along with it. And the way it works is you follow along in the book step by step by step by step until you get to module 6 where the instruction video is. And in the instruction video, with all the information that you've built up to this point, you take that and you assemble your business following exactly what I'm doing on the screen, click for click, and you have the whole thing built in about an hour or so. So version 2 is much faster, it's much more refined, and it's a heck of a lot easier to set up.
Speaking of ease, how easy is this for the average purchaser to understand and most of all to be able to put into application?
That's one of the other big changes, is that the original course was taught with the idea that you have some kind of understanding of internet marketing. You know how to build websites. You know how to do that stuff. And that really limited to a lot of people because there are a lot of people out there who simply won't touch this kind of stuff because building a website's intimidating. There's a lot of stuff that people don't want to get into with that. So a lot of those problems were removed to make this much easier. Things like finding content, if you're not an expert in anything, that's okay. All you have to be able to do is follow instructions and write okay. You don't even have to be a great writer. But the great thing about this system is just like Netflix. Netflix doesn't go out and create all these shows. They've got a few shows that they create, but 90% of their audience is watching shows that are created by other TV networks. And you can do the exact same thing with your newsletter. You can go find content. You can buy content really, really cheap, like pennies per page. You can borrow content and give credit where credit is due, of course. Always give credit where credit is due. But you can reference these in your newsletter. So if you wanted to create a newsletter and how to get your parrot to talk and you didn't even have a parrot, then you could go and find content on how to get your parrot to talk, and then that would work. And you could put together a newsletter based on that.
Well, how long would you say that it typically takes to see results from a new student taking the program or taking the course and digesting the material, taking the steps? From that point, how quickly could they see results?
I've seen people get results within 2 to 3 weeks from this. I've seen people set up their newsletter, and within, I think he got his first sale within about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and he ended up making about $1,000 a month within 3 weeks. It all depends on the market. It all depends on the skill level of the person who's going through this, the drive, the determination, how much time they have available. So there are a lot of different variables, but it's not a difficult business to run, and the nice thing about it is the type of company or the type of business that if you have a 9-to-5 job right now, you can start this, you come home from work, you're tired, you don't have to work on this for 4 hours at a time. You can come home and work on this for 30 minutes and then go spend time with your kids or your wife or your husband. So you can chunk it down. It's a very manageable business to start, and it's the type of thing where you don't have to quit your job to do. So there's a lot of security around it.
What topics would be suitable for a newsletter to be successful, and does the training program help the students understand or help them identify what topics might be good for them to pursue?
Uh, Great question. Yeah, the course absolutely does teach that. There's a really long list of topics that you can choose from as well. The primary two types of topics that I recommend people to pick are pain-based and pleasure-based topics. So an example of a pain-based newsletter would be something like, I'm overweight, I'm not happy with my lifestyle, I want to figure out a way to eat healthy, and I want to lose weight. So the motivation behind that is there's some part of me, some emotional part of me that is hurting that I want to solve. That's the pain-based. And then there's the other kind, which is the pleasure-based newsletter. A pleasure-based newsletter is something like, I love golfing. Golfing is fantastic. I want to be able to drive my golf ball 50 yards further so I can impress the pants off my friends and brag a little bit more. So it's something that you're teaching someone to enhance a pleasure or a passion that they already have. Now, as a typical rule of thumb, pain-based newsletters are going to sell better than pleasure-based newsletters. And that's simply because people are more motivated to escape a pain, to get rid of a pain than they are to move towards a pleasure. That being said, it doesn't mean you can't have both, but it's just something to keep in mind when you're picking your newsletters. So yeah, the two main topics are pain-based and pleasure-based, but within those there are, you could do for pleasure-based golfing, camping, hiking, woodworking, any kind of hobby, collecting. There's a huge list in the course. As far as pain-based, you could do things like weight loss. You could do relationships, any type of relationship with your kids, relationship with your parents, relationship with the spouse. You could do money is a really big one. So the big ones are money, weight, and relationships. But even under those, there are so many different categories that you can make this work in that it's not even possible to list them all.
Now, you mentioned a few minutes ago about the knowledge base a person might think they should have versus what really would be necessary to get this started. But with regard to other tools or software, kind of outline for us what's the minimum that a person needs to get started, because for a lot of people things are tight right now with regard to their budget. They're looking for something to help them not necessarily retire early or do a 4-hour work week. In all cases, they may be looking just to supplement income or to replace the income that they recently lost. So money may be tight, and in those cases, what's the bare minimum a person needs in order to get started?
Sure. Well, the bare minimum, if you really wanted a penny pinch, you could do this free. You buy the initial course, and the tools out there are tools available that you can do this for free. Now, keep in mind, though, and I understand money is tight, but if time is a resource as well, and time's a finite resource, generally speaking, the more money you spend on higher quality tools, the less time and energy and effort and frustration you'll have. That being said, these tools aren't expensive. You can get this whole kit and caboodle for under $40 every month. So it's not a big purchase. The tools I recommend are lead pages and get response. And lead pages to put together the kind of the pages that people are going to go to buy your newsletter, and then get response is a tool that sends out the newsletters every single month. That being said, though, if you already have tools, if you've already got something that works for you, if you already know how to set this stuff up, there's no sense in rebuilding the wheel. Use what works for you now. If you've got tools you're happy with, don't go out and sign up for this stuff just because I'm saying, this is what works with this course. This system will work with pretty much any number of tools that are out there. Get response and lead pages are my favorite, but there are certainly free tools out there, like MailChimp is a free autoresponder. There's one from Active Campaign that is free as well. There are free tools to build websites out there. So depending on the amount of legwork you want to put in, you could actually get away with not having to pay anything at all to set this up.
Okay, that's really a benefit for a lot of people. So that's great that the program is set up that way. And while we're talking about investment, what would you say the cost is for the purchase of the course or the different options to the course?
Sure thing. Well, the course is going to be on sale to the general public for $27. Right now, because we're in the first few days, there's an early bird special, and it's a really, really good discount on it. You can get that by clicking the link below, actually. But Yeah, so it's $27, and the main course is it's a 100-page book plus video, and it will cover everything that you need. You don't need to buy anything else. A lot of people, when they sell these products, they'll piece them apart so that you buy the front-end product, and then well, if you want to send traffic to it, then you have to buy something else, and if you want to learn how to do this, you have to buy something else, and it ends up being a really big monumental purchase. I do have things that you can get after you purchase the passive print system. You do not need them though. So the first thing that you have the option of getting is called Facebook Ad Basics. And what that is it's a course on how to send traffic from Facebook, paid traffic, over to your newsletter in the cheapest, the easiest, the most effective way possible so that you get really high opt-in rates, so that you build your subscribers list and you turn that into money. Now, it's a $47 purchase, which is, it can be a lot of money, but when you think about the amount of time that you're going to be spending learning Facebook ads, all the obstacles that you'll have to overcome, the $47 you'll spend on the course will end up saving you a significant amount of money in the long run, because you'll know how to target things properly. You'll know how to set up your ads properly. So if you are going to be doing Facebook advertising and you don't know where to start, if this is something that you know you're interested in, then definitely recommend picking up the course. If you don't want to pay for advertising at all, you don't need it, don't worry about it, don't get it. But Facebook advertising is by far the fastest way to get your newsletter up and running. So we got something else after that, which, again, not required, is called the affiliate funnel. And the affiliate funnel will teach you how to build a sales funnel behind your newsletter, so that if you decided you wanted to start paying for advertising, the fastest way to recoup your advertising is to sell more stuff to your new customers and your new leads. The easiest way to do that is to put more stuff in your sales funnel. So that's what the affiliate funnel teaches you. Again, not required to make this business work, but it will help you turn a profit faster. And then I've got a similar product to that will teach you, if you don't want to sell other people's stuff, if you wanted to create your own, that will teach you how to do more or less the same thing, just creating your own products. That's called Instant Product Formula. And then I'm inviting you to join my passive print business, my first one, which is called the Marketing Hacks Newsletter, which is just you to basically implement these tricks in their business and grow their sales, grow their subscription rates, decrease the amount of time they have, increase their profit, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the full gamut of the stuff that you can get with this. And also, these are not one-time offers. There isn't a whole bunch of scarcity behind this. If you decide that this isn't for you, the upgrades aren't for you at this point, that's okay. You can still go into the course later and get them up. They're listed as resources in the course so that you could pick those up when it's convenient for you. But if you are going to be doing the Facebook traffic, do pick up Facebook Ad Basics now, because it is on sale. It will be higher priced later on. So if that's something that you're moving towards, I recommend the course a lot. It's very, very thorough.
Great. Now, are there any tips that you could give the viewers that might be of help to them right now?
Absolutely, yeah. So when you're starting this business, and I know that we've gone over this stuff for in our interview here for the past 20 minutes or so, but when you go into this, really spend a lot of time understanding the psychology behind why this works, because it's very different than a lot of other businesses out there. There are a lot of people that are selling selling T-shirts and selling one-off products and things like that in order to make money online, and they work. They work well, but they're not consistent long-term income sources. So the fact that this is a different type of business, it's a long-term, reliable, stable type of business, adds a little bit more weight to it than something like selling a T-shirt online, simply because it's going to pay you every single month, month after month. So when you go into this business with that type of mentality, knowing that this is a legitimate, real business with real assets that you can sell to somebody for potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars down the road, it kind of puts more credibility to it, so you don't end up jumping from system to system as fast. Once you get into this, make the decision that, yes, this is what I'm going to do, yes, this is going to work, and or I'm going to make it work. And keep pushing until you do, because if you go into this haphazardly and say, this is another neat thing that I think I might be interested in, then it's hard to have the drive and the push to make it through all those really, really tough parts that are going to come up, and that come up with every business. So make the commitment to yourself that this is going to be the way for me. This is how I'm going to make my income online. This is how I'm going to get out of my job, and then commit to it. And if you do that and you follow along the steps, you'll be fine.
Well, as we prepare to close, is there anything else that you'd like to add today?
Let me see here. There is one thing, And it's the very first thing in the passive print system, and it's something I call the big why. And I mentioned it at the beginning of this interview, and that's where I was almost homeless, completely broke, $30,000 in debt, and I had the breakdown. And ever since then, that moment has been burned into my memory. I'll never forget it. And anytime I want to quit, and it still happens, I still get frustrated. I still, I'll have tech problems, and I just want to throw in the towel. Every time I have moments like that, I think back to that moment, and I think, there's no way I'm ever going to let myself be in that situation again. And I dust off my boots and I get back up and I keep at it. Find your big why. Find, if it's you want to retire early, you want to put your kids through school, you want to give your family a better life. Find out your big why, that big emotional, painful reason that you're doing this, and hold on to it for dear life, because that's what's going to push you through this. That's what's going to make this possible.
Very good. Well, I've enjoyed our talk this morning, and this will be available for viewers up on YouTube in pretty short order. If you'll stay on the line after the call is over, just for a minute or two, we can wrap things up on our end. But for now, I'm going to wish the viewers good day and invite them to check out the link below this video to learn more about passive print and to be able to purchase the program and any of the other associated add-ons that you discussed here. So for now, we're going to say that wraps up another edition of Howard from Georgia show, and we invite you to check back here tomorrow where you'll see my product review as a user. So with that, I wish you a good day, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thanks a ton, Howard. I had a great time. It was a pleasure.